Hi, welcome to another Saturday episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. I am now in the control center. But in studio, there are three extraordinary women. If you've been following the trilogy story of Virginia Drake, she mentioned that she travels with her new family. If you believe the last episode, she had a vision when she met with the higher power, God, whatever you guys can interpret that as, where she wanted to come back and make a difference with her family. Unfortunately, that doesn't always pan out because we have our own journeys that we have to deal with, no matter how we look at it. During her transformation, she realized that she had been blessed with another type of family. And today on the show, these ladies are going to introduce themselves, and they're going to tell you who they are, and they're going to share how they met each other. And I'm going to come in with some questions as well to find out exactly just what message are they bringing to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the show. I'm gonna call them the Virginia Drake girls. You ladies, welcome to the show. You ladies introduce yourself.
The dynamic three.
Okay, that's
it. The dynamic three.
That's even better. Let's start with Virginia and just give the names, you guys' name, and then we'll get into the question and answer and tell how you guys met and what you guys are currently doing today.
Well, I am Virginia Drake, and this is my family, and these women have been with me for a long, long time, and they started out with me, and they're still with me, and they are my family, and I want to introduce you to my family.
Let's start with the beautiful lady with the glasses on, Jennifer. Jennifer, what's your full name?
My name is Jennifer Morgan. I live in Lexington. I'm a physical therapist and also a massage therapist practicing myofascial release. And haven't quite started it yet, but I'm calling myself a stillness coach because I want to teach people how to have that inner stillness.
Okay, and let's go over to Mary Pat.
I'm Mary Pat Curran. I also live in Lexington. I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I'm also a personal coach. But I am going to say that my personal coaching is a little bit more world of man personal coaching, but I do use my abilities with my myofascial release practice as well.
Now, you guys are very close to Virginia. You guys don't call her Virginia. I guess I haven't been privileged to call her what you guys call her. What is it, Jeannie?
Jenny with a G.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, who in the hell, who is that? So, how did you guys meet? How did this sisterhood form?
You want me to start?
You go start.
Okay, well, the way Jenny, came into my family's life is I had my Aunt Vicky was diagnosed with cancer, and one of her friends brought her to Jenny's house, and Jenny introduced her to the energy work, the breath work, and taught her how to die. And I only got the stories. I didn't get to meet Jenny for a couple years. But when I finally did meet her, I began to work with her first as a client, and now we have just become family. We're soul family.
We are.
What do you mean when you say you are teaching people how to die? Are they afraid to die? I mean, elaborate on that a little bit more.
Are you talking to me or?
I'm talking to Jennifer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what my Aunt Vicky, she, through the process of what she learned, the truth about herself, she went back to her church and she told them, I don't want you to pray for my healing. I want you to pray for my divine plan. And if it's in her divine plan to die, then, she needed to be taught how to die, because in our society, we don't talk about death.
Right.
You know, we just don't talk about it, even though it's a natural part of life. No one's going to get out of it. We're all going to die. So why aren't we talking about it?
Why do you think that we're afraid to talk about death?
Well, we're told to be afraid of it, pretty much.
And you saying what, Virginia? That's not the case.
Well, what a lot of it is, it's not about their death, it's about how they're going to die. They worry about what they're going to die, and I said, it's not going to be like you think it is. I mean, death it's a beautiful rebirthing, and that's what I want people to understand. It's not so horrible to die. You know, because you're never going to die.
So you're telling me somebody that gets caught in the fire, they're cool, the flames ain't gonna last forever.
And that's exactly right, because I know there's a fireman that always comes in. I have a friend that has a fireman that comes in that he is very much a ghost, but he's gone with the fireman because he died that way. But he always is there. They can see pictures of him coming through, and he's usually carrying a child coming in. So yeah, they don't die. He was there. And the firemen know they are there, because I get pictures of that. So yes, you don't die.
And you don't have to die to learn what Jenny's teaching.
No.
You don't have to have a near-death experience. I didn't have a near-death experience.
What are you learning from Virginia, either Mary Pat or Jennifer? What are you guys learning? Let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this for a minute. What brought you into the confinement of the bosom of Virginia? Like, what was the quality? What was the interaction that brought all three of you guys together?
Well, for me, the first time I met Jenny was through a place I worked. Jenny was doing monthly meetings at different places, and my employer was one of these places at her home, and that's how I met Jenny, through this person. And I was curious, and some of the things she said made sense, and I was looking for answers.
Curious about what? I mean, that's a broad
About
spectrum.
energy, about, what's here, why are we here, how can things work, just different stuff like that.
Were you involved in the church's reason, or certain organizations? Because you just don't all of a sudden just go, wow, what were some of the things that was popping off in your head to even make you question what this world is about?
Oh, well, I grew up Catholic, and I got tired of hearing and feeling in my body every time I'd have to say I am not worthy to receive you. Like every time you go get communion, there's that prayer that you're saying, I am not worthy to receive you. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
How many other individuals said the same thing and did it and more or less did it in a code of silence? Because clearly, if you're in the Catholic Church or any type of a religious environment, you're not the only one thinking these things. Were there other individuals that had the same thought process as you did?
No.
Really?
No.
Man, the Catholic Church system is really tight, ain't it?
You don't bring it up.
Yeah, they just don't talk about it.
Okay, so the code of silence is strong there.
Yeah, you just go about it. Nobody really talks about it. You don't question. Because I'm the youngest of 5.
Right.
So the generation of my parents is like, hey, this is what you do, right? There's not a lot of questioning. Questioning didn't really come up really more freely, I think, till like 60s and 70s and 80s, and since then, where individuals questioning society is maybe not accepted, but
you question not only society, you question a generational situation in your family, breaking tradition. I mean, how did they take to that?
Well, my immediate family is my own thing. It's a little separate. I don't want to go into all that at the moment, but this is my journey. So, I'm going to keep it with that.
So basically, there's resistance with your family is a lot stronger than what people think.
Sure.
Virginia,
It all goes back to questions, though. I mean, that's kind of the thing that really started me on this journey, because I've always, since being a child, it's like, okay, why are we here? You know, what's life about? What's the purpose, right?
right.
So you got to start asking questions.
But I want you guys to understand something. You know, this is a safe environment. I mean, you know, the questions that I'm asking, I don't mean to be like unsympathetic, but and it goes back to Mary Pat. You know, I think the viewers really want to know, like, what was the consequences that. It's different when you're in that particular situation where the whole family grew up, whether Baptist or whatever, and all of a sudden you're going on a journey that's almost considered total taboo. I mean, I'm pretty sure the viewers want to know what did happen, because there's got to be somebody else besides you that's asking the same damn question. They want to know the fear of the unknown. Like, what was your family doing? You know, how did they castrate you? You know, or you became an outcast? How now you're going on a wholly different journey, and you're going down that journey with Virginia and Jennifer.
So.
Did I make you mad by I said that? I didn't mean to.
Well, it's okay. I mean, whatever. I guess, you know, I'm here. Tell the truth, right? So I haven't told the whole truth to the whole family. So, in my siblings, 4 of the 5 of us don't go to church now.
Wow.
And you have a priest in your family.
And on my husband's side, there is a priest.
Absolutely.
How was that?
Well,
have you ever dealt with that?
No.
See, she hasn't really. You don't deal with that.
Right.
And that we've talked about this. This is what we had to look at, because we had a lot of talk about it, because her husband, all of us have talked about it. And I said, when it's time for him to find out what's going on, it probably will shock him. But who cares? Because it'll be that.
And I don't have to convince anyone of anything.
Yeah.
So, if there's a thing where on my husband's side where we're going to church, I might choose not to go, and for some of them that's fine. If it happens to be a thing where my brother-in-law is performing it, we'll be there, possibly, and it depends. But
Virginia, what's your take on the situation? You're their mentor, so to speak. You're the voice of reason. You've been through the near-death experience. You had your encounters with God. You had your encounters with Jesus. You wrestled with Satan. What's your message to her? How do you help her to navigate in a whole different arena that society views as not acceptable?
Well, it's exactly what we're saying. They're not. I'm not their mentors anymore. I am their friend, and we talk as friends. And we've discussed it. And I said, you know, when the time comes, if it's meant to be, I said, I know you, Mary Pat, very well. She's just like me. She'll finally, whatever it needs to happen, it'll happen, but she knows to follow through in the higher consciousness. Doesn't matter if anybody gets it or not. It's all about you anyway. It doesn't matter. It only matters that you follow through what you came in here to do. And if they don't get it, that's not your problem. And that's what we've discussed. How many times we've gone through this? So I'm not their mentor anymore. They're my friend. I trust them. I trust them to the end, because they back me up. When I'm coming in something to do a workshop or something, I know they got my back. And
explain that a little more in detail when you say they got your back, and when you travel destinations to
what?
Marietta.
Marietta. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I love Bruce Lipton because he's a scientist. I was a scientist. I found out these great tickets in Marietta, Georgia. I said, oh my God, we can go. Now, these 2 are the ones who showed up. I had 9 people going that day. They all backed out, but these 2. And also, I had just came out of the 2019. I was paralyzed. I couldn't hardly walk. So I needed their strength, their ability. I trusted them. One would always be behind me, the other one would be in front of me. And I mean, I was shaky. But the best thing is they sat and watched all this that happened. We're sitting in, and I was, at that time, when we were going up there, 5 hours we were going up there, and I said, you know, I really need an eye surgeon because I have a cataract, and I was going on like that. I don't even know if I'd even told them that yet. But I was sitting in, I think I had. We were sitting in a row, and I got the best seats, too. Man, I got the best seats. We were right in there. And I almost, because Mary Pat went on the very end of the row, and then it was Jennifer, and then it was me, and then this man next to me. But I wanted Mary Pat to basically to go over there by the man because I didn't want to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear from God, literally, that higher voice says, you need to talk to this man next to you. And I thought, I don't want to talk to that man next to me. Why? I'm here to see Bruce Lipton. And so it kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me. Finally, I turned around and said, hi, how are you? And he said, hi. And he said, where'd y'all come from? I said, oh, we were from Lexington, Kentucky. He said, you drove all the way here? And I said, oh, absolutely. I said, Bruce Lipton is the man. And then we started talking. He said, Lexington, Kentucky? He said, that is the weirdest thing. I have a cousin in Lexington, Kentucky. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, I just went to Hawaii with him. He is an eye surgeon.
Wow.
And I went, can I get an appointment right now? And that's exactly when it happened. Marietta, Georgia, I got my first eye appointment with Dr. Curtis, and every time we all go in there, Dr. Curtis said, let me tell you, this woman right here, she met me in Marietta, Georgia with my cousin from Hawaii. And he goes on and he said, never thought in 1,000 years. That's how, and they were part of it. They watched it. Then, you know, we do, and then we ended up working with a woman that had cancer. You heard her.
She was in front of me.
And we ended up working with her. We worked with, this is what we do.
When you say you worked with her, give the viewers a little bit of insight on what does that entail. You're not operating on them and stuff. What are you actually doing when you say you're working on these people?
Well, Mary Pat is my first.
Why are these people coming to you for these services?
So she was in front of me. I don't remember what she said. It doesn't matter what she said. But I heard it and it resonated with me. And then we were out in the parking lot and I had a click again. And I was like, I don't remember how it happened, but I just called her over.
Yeah.
And talked to Jenny. I mean, right? You've talked to Jenny. You had an experience. It wasn't quite like that, but it was a little bit. It was like,
yeah.
You need to get quiet. You need to get still. You need to go into yourself. You need to find out what that's about.
And she felt relieved because she had cancer. She knew and all three of us gathered and just held her in love right then at that moment. And she said, oh, wow, I feel like I'm blessed that I even got to meet you all. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works.
And then she went on her way. And
yeah,
we
never heard anything else again.
So you don't know if she went into remission?
No. You're not going to always find out if they're going to heal or anything. All we know is we served what God asked us to, and it came from Mary Pat. It didn't come from us. Mary Pat felt it. If Jennifer feels it, we follow through. Mm-hmm. It's like they've been led, and it's not just me. I listen to them.
What do Mary Pat and Jennifer bring to your universe, Virginia? Because you said you're no longer their mentor. What were their weaknesses, or what that came to you for to begin with, and how does it elevate your message?
I think you need to ask them that. Because, first of all, I watched them grow. I've watched these women grow beautifully and just eliminate, not anymore, lift up who they really are. I mean, I've watched them grow for a long time, 13, 14, 15 years of us being together. And I've watched them because they've sat at my couch looking straight at me and going through I'll go through their body and they'll move around and they'll say, oh my God, I felt that. And I sat and watched them do the inner work. That's all it was important, that they were doing the inner work. Not that they were doing it with me, that they were doing it for themselves, to look deeper inside. They weren't asking for me to heal them. They were asking for me to teach them heal themselves.
Jennifer, when she says heal yourself, give me some insight on that. Like, what were you suffering mentally, emotionally?
Oh yeah, I mean, I suffered from a lot of low self-esteem, depression. I was coming out of a 10-year relationship that wasn't a healthy relationship. So, I mean, really, I was seeking myself. And that's really what we help people to do. It's so learning the truth about who you are, what this body is, what energy is, how to get still, go inside and find the answers within yourself. Because ultimately, everyone's seeking outside of themselves for the answers, but the answers are inside. So when you say we work with people, we're teaching them how to get connected, get into their bodies, learn how to breathe, learn how to hear that voice that will teach them how to heal themselves.
But you're talking, okay, most people that get involved in a situation like that, are been through it, domestic violence, unstable relationships and so forth. That's not on their radar. I mean, so what was it? How does suddenly that particular prescription come into your mind? Because technically it don't make any sense, because that's not how we think. So how did that even resonate that you had to say, okay, I need to focus on my energy, I need to go here? What was the blueprint to getting to where you got to?
It's hard to say because this really isn't a blueprint. There's not a protocol. There's not a script.
Let me read.
Yeah.
So how did Virginia come in there? There had to be a blueprint, prescription to get to her, because you don't come out of toxicity relationships and turmoil and just go, oh well, I'm gonna start searching for inner peace or something like that. So how did the road to Virginia happen for you?
My Aunt Vicky, who worked with her when she was dying from cancer, and we saw how it transformed her, and it transformed my family.
Yeah. Virginia, did you see pain and suffering in Jennifer prior to her coming to you for assistance?
I didn't see the inner pain, but I knew she was a seeker. That's what. And most of the time, what Vicky brought to them, she brought everybody to my house. Every woman. Now Jennifer didn't come in the first time, and Vicky brought them in. Vicky was a nurse. She was going in and telling the hospitals, all to the doctors, you need to go to this woman. She can heal you. And it's not about physicality. It's about your soul. And I mean, she was selling it. I mean, she had brought more people in to see me. And then when Jennifer came, a month or something later, and she said, I remember when I met her, she was sitting at the couch, and she looked like a little bitty girl. I mean, I thought she was just a young little girl, and as soon as she and I got really connected, we both started crying together. Because it was an emotional thing to really feel each other, and she's got a beautiful mind.
Explain more when you say we got connected.
Connected is you sit on the corner of my couch, and this is that they'll see, and they'll look eyeball to eyeball with me. We raise the frequency, and we bring in another energy that raises us up to see the truth, and that's how it works. And then you get a chance to fall back into and what I work is an inside job. That's an inside job. You got to go deep in there to pull it out, to really look at it and say, oh my God, that's there. And it's not what I thought. And you see them grow, you see them shape shift, you see them, that's why I used to love to work with Mary Pat and Jennifer, because I could ride in their mind, and they got great minds, and they're strong in who they are, and that's what I wanted to be with. So they brought me up even higher by giving me the opportunity to work with them.
We talked about elevation. We talked about elevating ourselves, our consciousness, our vibration.
Right.
We never used the word spirituality, in this throughout this conversation, but let's go deeper than this. You guys are teaching how to do this. Do you have to have a near-death experience to encounter a different level of this vibration?
No.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
No.
And that is one of the first questions they always ask. I mean, when I used to be on stage, do I have to die to do this? I said, absolutely not.
Simply getting grounded gives you that experience.
And you know that.
Explain simply getting grounded and get that experience.
And getting still. Like you had to do the night that we came in here and we knocked you down to the very level, sitting your ass right in that chair and said, you need to get grounded. You need to get quiet. And then they picked you up, basically, and they started working with your energy field and you were feeling things coming out of your body. And that's what we do. And all I did is watch these women work with you, and I just raised the energy.
How did you know that I needed?
Well,
Let me rephrase it. Look, don't go there. Don't go there.
okay.
So the question is, how did you know that I needed to be grounded? What was some of the
one thing
you talk about all the time? So what was some? They don't know me.
Right. So I didn't know you either, but I recognize that you do something that I do very well, which is when we're together sometimes and we're in the energy, and I'm the one that like breaks it. I say something, I do something, whatever. I break the energy, and so I was sitting in the other chair over there. You were here, and you broke the energy.
Yeah.
Like we were in, things were going, and then you said something, it just went, and that's why I got set up, came over and sat next to you, like, oh, you break the energy too. This will be great. But even before that, Jennifer and I both were like,
wait a minute, let's go back.
looking at it.
Let's go back a minute. What do you mean break the energy? What did I do something wrong when you say break
No,
the energy?
it's nothing wrong. It's
You're just not aware.
we're not aware, or it gets too much for us.
Yeah.
Like we're not able to like
So we become
keep it.
overwhelmed.
So it's just kind of like it's like, oh, I can't. That's too close. A little bit like those questions you were asking me, and you're like, okay, let's go. You recognize I didn't want to answer those questions. So
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like that,
Okay.
where it's just like there's something within us that's not ready
To hold back.
to sit still and to go deep.
Uh-huh.
So, but even before I got over there, Jennifer and I were looking at each other, and we both knew that you needed to be grounded because you
One, two, you're
I
sitting
just
here.
thought Jennifer
You're
just,
sitting
I just thought
here.
Jennifer just didn't like me. I seen her rolling her eyeballs a lot through as she
No,
was
because
sitting
we're
there.
recognizing.
We recognize it.
And
That you weren't grounded.
something that I recognize is when people are talking really up here, and like their voice just gets higher,
Yeah,
right.
and you can hear mine now how it's lower.
Yeah.
It's here. And probably if you go back and listen to a little bit earlier, my voice is probably higher. But I noticed your voice was really high. You weren't really in your body. It's just from practicing, we recognize it.
Absolutely. You feel it immediately.
Just like if you are a chef and you're really good at making something, and you go somewhere else and you can taste that it's off. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just I recognize this, and I know that it can be better.
And to be connected, we all have to be in the ground of what we're doing so we'll all flow together. There is an ebbing and flowing of energy. Think about it. When they pulled you up, you started jerking and moving because your body's trying to get it grounded, and they're assisting you grounding. All I'm doing is watching them do it, and I'm thinking they're really doing well. You know, as a teacher or a friend, I trust them to the nth degree. I knew that they weren't going to do anything to you but get you where you need to be. And it's good to watch it from a teacher point or a mentor point, to watch your students become adults and doing what they came to do. That's what they came in to do. And each one of them do totally different than what I do.
Right.
But we all gel when it comes together because we needed everybody's tone, their truth, their abilities to come together.
Virginia, how did you learn how to do all this? Did this happen as a result of, the many near-death experiences that you got? Because you just don't, or is this a gift that we all have?
We all have it, but how I had to do is I had to go down in my, same thing the girls were talking about. You have to face your own self. You have to look at the darkness of what you've done and not take it personal, but go in deeper to find out how you can open yourself up to be better. And then that's how they did the same thing. They might have to do different kind of understandings, but we all get to the same place.
What are you trying to? What's your message to the people? Like, you're going on a crusade for truth. How acceptable is the mission with people? Are they gravitating to your message, or are we so conditioned with the matrix and the world of man that it falls on deaf ears?
Well, I think that's why I'm sitting right here in Indianapolis with them, because there has been a change. There's been a shift. When you have a video, I mean, I gave them my email and my phone number. I never had anybody ever think about it anyway. I've been talking about this for 26 years, and I didn't know it was going to get viral. 800,000 people were going to watch that, and then 10,000 emails were going to come. So I didn't even know that even, I remember Jeremy, and you have heard of, Jeremy came in 2 days after I got in. I mean, I was swamped. I mean, people were trying to they knew my phone number, they knew my address. It scared me.
What were the people asked you for? All of a sudden,
for me to heal them.
From
To
like
fix
what?
them.
For what? What were some of the main?
All of their pain.
Things?
They wanted to be out of pain, or most of them wanted to do astroplane. They teach me how to go out. I don't want to come back here. I don't want to be here. And that's the worst thing in the world, because you came here to do this inner work, not to be out in the universe. And so you had to bring them back in. Yeah, this is something big that's happened. I mean it. I felt it. Jeremy felt it. The girls felt it. It's like, we know this is what we came in here to do. And that's what I'm going to do.
Jennifer, you're quiet over there. What's going on?
Oh, you're saying, the people are going to listen. It's the ones who are ready are going to hear the message.
No matter what.
And the ones that aren't won't. They'll say, oh, well, she's effing crazy.
Yeah.
She's a Looney Tunes. Mm-hmm. But the ones that resonate with it, who are ready, will get the message.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to add that it's not a crusade.
Yeah. When you say
crusade, I'm like,
we're not
maybe
fighting.
maybe in some ways it started when it first happened for you.
Probably.
But you've grown and learned, and you're like,
I'm not in a crusade.
how did this happen for you? You're like, hey, God, I'm a little bored, and this came forward, right? So this is not a crusade.
No.
How many? I know this is just guessing, but how many people that had how close is what you're teaching more prevalent to people that have suffered near-death experiences? Because you hear this all the time. They said their lives has changed, but even Virginia, we talked about this. I think a lot of them are maybe afraid of being ridiculed or called crazy.
Yes.
So from your research, how closely related is this to the near-death experience?
I think it is. When you leave your body and you go into those states of mind, you're already out. I try to explain that to people. You don't have to die. All you have to do is, and I do this all the time, say you're at a party and you are sitting there and you're having good drinks but all of a sudden you think about your children and how the babysitter is going. So the next thing you do is you're standing here at this place, but you've gone over to check on your children mentally. So you're out of body.
Oh, deep.
Yeah, and then they don't even realize you're out of body. And then you'll have people, if they get startled or something at the party, and they'll bring them in and go, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Well, because you weren't present. Your body was there, but your mind was somewhere
Your heart
else.
is here with me, but your mind is on the other side
Yes,
of town.
and kids do it all the time. That's why I used to see it, especially in the spring, when my sixth graders, when all the kindergartners would go out they would go out to play. All of my sixth graders would be sitting on their seats, and the next thing I know, they're over there in the kindergarten, and I'd have to say, come back. come back to me, come back to me. You know, Mary Pat's a teacher, she knows. And we go, I've done this, and they go, oh, I'm sorry. Because daydreaming is an out-of-body experience. Anytime you're not in your body present, this moment, you're out of body.
Yeah, or trauma.
Trauma.
People are in their
trauma.
stories, they're in their past.
Yeah. Or they've had a rape or something. They go out while they're being raped. You hear that all the
Or
time.
just the wounds,
The wounds.
because you're a wound care specialist.
What do you hear? What do you hear most of? What do you hear most of from people? You mentioned rape. You mentioned trauma. What is the number 3 things that are extremely high when individuals are on the other side of town mentally?
Fear. It could be a car accident, or you've heard that somebody calls you and says that your daughter's at the emergency room. You immediately go out. You're at that emergency room before your body ever got there. So you don't even realize that. That's what people don't understand. They go in and out all the time. If somebody comes up behind, there was a girl that came in here yesterday, and you scared her. And she said, but I was very clear that it didn't startle me like it would have. Well, I've been that way. I mean, my ex-husband used to do that to me all the time. I'd be looking in the mirror and I'd be really focused on something, and he said, "Hey," he said, "I'm your wife. Why did you act like that?" Well, I wasn't in my body, but he didn't understand that. I didn't understand that.
What are some of the negative feedbacks that you guys hear? And it's a 2-part question. What are some of the negative feedbacks that you guys get from doing this? And then, are there other individuals besides yourself that is trying to do what you do, spread the message and bring enlightenment and awareness of grounding?
You do this work. I don't.
Well, I've been
Negative.
spat at. I've been slapped. I was told that I was trying to be God. I can't be God. How did you even think you could do this? And then, well, she's crazy. No, not enough, just like Jennifer said, not enough oxygen to the brain. She had, and they've said that to me, she's had a near-death experience, but she didn't have enough oxygen to the brain, so she doesn't really know. That's what my family would tell everybody, and it would hurt me because once you really experience this, they're stealing that away from you, and I won't let anybody do that again, ever. Nobody's going to ever talk to me like that again. Nobody's going to say that God doesn't exist. Because these two right here especially, they'll come right behind me and we'll stand there. Because we all 3 have had this experience.
And yes, there are several people who are teaching grounding. And is there a right way or wrong way? I would say whoever resonates with you
Yes.
is what you should go after.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Whoever resonates with you? Because this sounds like I want somebody that
There's not one way.
has experience. You know what I mean? I just don't want to just. Okay, well, we get along great. Can you do it? You know what I mean? Like what? I'm gonna ask this to Virginia. What should be? Let's
Well,
talk about this.
you-
What should be the
Okay,
qualifications?
but why did you call me in the first place? Why did it resonate to you to pick up the phone and call me? You went to Jeff Maher, you went to different places, you couldn't find out, but you went to Facebook. Why were you so intent to find, you was like a dog with a bone, you wanted to find me. Well, you found me, so why did you do that?
It was meant to be.
Well, what's that
That's what
mean,
we're
what's it
talking
meant to
about,
be?
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a feeling.
It was
Yeah.
emotional feeling.
Yeah, and that's what most of the people...
But that's not the question I'm asking. I'm asking, okay, you're talking emotions. I'm talking about experience. Like you're
Transformational
you're
consultant.
doing transformation. I don't want just any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Let me use another way of putting this. I had tons of people that try to come on my show that said they do Reiki healing. I don't know what Reiki healing is.
Mm-hmm.
I seen one. I shared this with you. The one lady was basically porn. I said, well, what do you do? Well, I go to these men's and they pay for me, and I'm like, okay, so now I have to go deeper, start researching this. Now everybody's Reiki. So now I got this woman that says, oh, this is how you do it. I got this person says this is how you do it. And this, so it's the same thing on this end. What should be? You got the experience because you got the near-death experience. Your story resonates with other individuals, and then I got to also realize that other individuals are scared to come out and explain what really happens to them and what could happen and to share the wealth. You're not doing that. You came out of the comfort zone. So to go back to the question, this is for Virginia. What should I look for finding someone that I want to do what you're doing or enhance whatever I'm trying to enhance mentally, physically?
Feel it. You will feel a resonation. It'll resonate inside of you. It does. You feel it. I mean, people all over the world feel that. And they said, I feel you. I feel like I need to call you. I need to connect to you. And it could have been somebody else, Andre. It could have been somebody else. If it's meant to be in a divine plan, you will find them or they will find you. You don't have to do anything hard. All you put it out there. Because you're looking for the frequency and the higher consciousness. And sometimes you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find the real truth of the prince or the princess. So I met a lot of healers, and they have too. We knew immediately they were not who they said. And we're not very kind when we know that.
How do you know that? How do you know?
Feel them. You know immediately.
Like, what were you feeling? What energy was resonating out of these individuals that you knew they were shysters?
Well, because there's a lot of people who've written a lot of books. I mean, I was on, I used to travel and speak on the authors, because I'm not going to write a book. But I would listen to their book, and I thought, they don't even know who the hell they are. They don't even know what they're talking about. And you get kind of pissed about it because they're getting a lot of money, a lot of fame, but they're not saying anything that what we do at all. They don't understand it.
Virginia, what makes you the real deal?
I don't know if I am the real deal. I just know who I am. What's the real deal? I mean, I've heard that before. She's the real deal. What the hell is the real deal?
So, so let's go back to the next question. What makes you the real deal? You said that you encounter individuals, you knew right off the bat from their energy vibration that they wasn't authentic in what they were spreading around, that you got shysters out there. And me and you talked about that. Remember I told you that was the guy that was coming on the show that's supposed to do what you do, and all of a sudden he made up like he didn't understand the schedule. And I remember you telling me he wasn't real. He's just there for the money and stuff.
Right. Well, you feel it. I don't know how to explain it any other way. You feel the energy of it. You feel that they're just not authentic. If they're not authentic, I'm not gonna deal with them. And I've dealt with a lot. I mean, I've been doing it for 26 years, man. And so when all three of us together, we can beam on them very quickly because we're all three there. Mm-hmm. And just like, when I said I got my, eye surgeon, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to talk to that man, but I knew there was no way I was going to get out of it. And when it happened, we all three knew immediately that's the right thing to do.
I tell you what, you got over 8,000 inboxes out of coming out and sharing your story. That should be a reflection that there's a lot of people, a lot of individuals in this world that are walking around with unanswered questions that they have within inside them. What is your take on that?
Well, most of them they're trying for me to do their healing. They don't I'm not the healer to heal personally. I teach them how to heal themselves, to empower them, because I don't want them to do what I do. I want them to do what God asked them to do. And that's it. I mean, they get mad, and these girls have seen that. That's not what I wanted. I said, too bad then, you need to leave.
What do you mean it's not what do you mean it's not? They tell you it's not what they wanted.
Well, they tell you.
Yeah, they come in with an expectation that this is how it's going to work. And Jenny's like, no, I'm not going to heal you. You got to do the work yourself.
And I will not. work with them, or if they think I'm better. I mean, I've had people who worshipped me. They thought, I said, oh, no, we're not doing that. I said, I'm not somebody to worship. I said, I mean, I've had people lay down in front of me and give me, oh, I mean, God, you help me and everything. I said, no, get up right now. We all have to pee and take our pants off just like everybody else. I have to eat like that. And I've been told, oh, you're an angel. No, I'm not. I'm a human being, just like they are. They've gone a little bit deeper, a bit stronger. And then you get people that that come in with you. It's a confirmation. They did it maybe differently, but they got to the same journey line.
Doesn't the church give confirmation? People go there, they give their tithes, they told if you do this, you go to heaven. If you don't do this, you go to hell.
Buy yourself in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, buy yourself in. What's your take on that?
Well, it doesn't work. First of all, you're never gonna buy yourself in because you don't even understand where you're going in the first place. You know, this is so different because you haven't been trained to look at the truth. The truth lies within. Jesus Christ said it. Whatever I can do, you can do. So why are we all sitting around trying to discuss it when all we have to just damn well do it?
And feel it. I mean, that's how you know. If you go to a teacher and they're telling you have to do A, B, C, you got a whole list of things to do, you know that ain't it.
That's it.
Because everyone's journey is unique. So you do what feels right to you. So if someone is trying to override you and tell you how to do it,
Right.
they don't have the answer.
You mentioned everybody's journey is unique.
Yeah.
And
With that said, a lot of people, many are calling and few are chosen.
there you go. That's true.
So,
What were you going to say, Mary Pat? She was bringing something.
go ahead, Mary.
I was adding something different than what you were just asking. You had mentioned before, how do you know if it's the right person for you?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have your own experiences to learn that. It's not always going to be evident straight up until you've had more experience.
People people can't notice experience. Let me go back.
But
They can't notice experience if they can't experience something that they never felt. So if you never felt it, how are you going to be able to recognize and move forward to realize? In other words, you keep repeating the same cycle again. Does that make any sense, Virginia?
But you're not going to.
what I'm trying to say is, there have been times that Virginia has sought new experiences.
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Virginia has done things that haven't worked out the way she expected. She does not claim to know everything all the time. She's curious, so she will investigate things. And sometimes the outcomes are not what she was hoping, but she's learned, and then that gives her discernment.
Okay.
Just like, so your question of how do you know someone's the real deal, well, you don't until you try and you find out that they're not. I don't really, that's just kind of what I'm bringing forward, is that it's not always going to be evident. There is trial and error. And that's how you learn what resonates with you.
Yeah, because that's what you're here to do, not to find Virginia Drake or Jennifer Morgan or Mary Pat. You're trying to find you, and when you feel that inside you, it rings, man. You go, yeah, I know who I am. And that's when you really start healing, that you are not worried about anybody else anymore, what anybody thinks anymore. You know that you're healing to be the highest good, and you want to be pure thinking about it. That's what I want. I don't want to play the game anymore. I want to fulfill what I came in here to do. And that's how it works.
How do we know thyself, and the truth shall set you free?
By being honest. Being really, really honest. I mean being honest, like don't sit there and try to fool yourself. You know exactly what the truth is, and I can tell you right now they know exactly what the truth is. When you go to it, they try not. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. You know exactly what the truth is. Go deeper. That's how they find out. It's deep dive, but it's the best thing you'll ever do in your life. I can guarantee you, it's the best thing you will ever do in your life.
before we wrap up, first of all, I'd say thanks for coming and being on the show and once again bringing enlightenment to the show. That's what we do here at the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. It's about education, empowering, and enlighten, and not to judge individual stories. This is everybody's journey, like they just said. How can the viewers reach out to you guys and learn more about what's the word I'm trying to say?
Grounding.
Grounding, yeah. How do we get in contact with you guys?
Well, you can go into my Divine Inheritance. That's my website. And then they have websites that they have you can reach them. Tell them who you are.
You can find me at marypatcurran.com.
She's a coach.
Jennifer, how can they reach out to you? Jennifer's so quiet. How do you? Is she already grounded that she's going to sleep?
No. I'm not doing my own individual work, but I support Jenny and we work together. So she can call me in to consult if like someone needs some body work or table work. So
Yes.
Before we wrap up, I want each of you ladies to leave the viewers with an inspiration that can help them to understand the importance of knowing thyself.
One of you go.
well, like I told you, you already have what you're looking for. It's there with you all the time. You just gotta take the glasses off, wipe them off a little bit, and then clear all that stuff out, and you'll start to see the truth.
Mary Pat.
Mine, I guess, would be start doing mirror work.
Yeah.
Stand in front of the mirror, see yourself, ground, and just experience what happens next.
And what I would say is get excited, be aware, and it's a journey. It's a beautiful thing. Stop being worried about things. Just take a leap. Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show.